Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Tonight I'm going to show you a video. No, do over. Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you which coffee makers. Nope, do over. Time out. Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Tonight I'm going to show you which Keurig coffee makers are most reliable. No. Say. Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. I get this question a lot. Which Keurig coffee makers have the most problems? Which Keurig coffee makers are the best, have the least amount of problems? I've got hundreds of videos on different Keurig coffee makers. Now, I don't do testing of any kind, but I read the comments. I get a lot of comments on all these different coffee makers, and I've kind of compiled a list. I've not done the analytics or nothing, but I've kind of compiled a list of what do I see the most problems on. Now, I'll start with the worst and we'll run our way to the best. So probably the worst. Now, this doesn't mean this coffee maker is the worst. I think this has to do with they sell a lot of these. This is the Keurig K-Duo Essentials, mainly sold at Walmart. It's around $80 on sale most of the time, under $100. I think they sell a ton of these coffee makers. Now, it could be that just they sell so many of them that it's just a very small percentage, but that very small percentage is a lot. So I do see this one has a lot of problems. And it typically revolves around the add water light and the descale light. Now, I don't know what that is from people not descaling these. Maybe they just use them and then they finally descale them and then it's too late. It's already got too much buildup on the inside and the light won't get out. They don't tell us what turns the light off. There is no descaling procedure. You just have to run vinegar and water or vinegar or descaling solution through this about every 2 to 3 months. Kind of stay up on top of it. It does have a tank inside that holds the water, and that's how it heats it up and brews the coffee. And I don't necessarily know exactly what's going on with this other than the descale light, and then it just clogs up on the inside. So on these K-Duos, they use one water tank and one water reservoir for both sides. So there's this valve. There's a valve that has to switch the water over to the K-Cup side, over to the coffee maker side. I have seen a lot of comments where that valve gets stuck in one position or the other. We can't brew on one side, only on the other. But mainly it is water just stops coming out at all. Again, I don't necessarily know what's going on. I've taken these apart. I can't see what's going on. And the K-Duos are probably the hardest to take apart. Really the most unforgiving. If you're going to take this apart, it's going to be a very intensive job and it's probably not going to go back together. So unfortunately, I do see a lot of problems with this one, followed by the original K-Duo. Next is the K Supremes are very high, but while I'm talking about K-Duos, probably the K-Duo Essentials and the K Supreme coffee maker are exactly the same as far as the most comments. Maybe even the K Supreme, but we'll get into that. The K-Duo Plus. It's got this where you put the K-Cup in the back. This has a little latch, and when you put the K-Cup in, it should latch down and stay down. This breaks and will not latch down anymore. I bought one on eBay that had this exact problem. I thought I am going to open this up and see if I can fix it because that would be a great video. I did. It was very hard to open up. You can open up the back and all that relatively easy. Getting up into this top part where this mechanism is, you destroyed the Keurig. And what I found is in this hinge area, there's a plastic part that wears out. You cannot replace it. There is no fix for it other than people say, well, I just put a really heavy book on it and brew my Keurig or my K-Cup. That's the fix for that. I have a separate video just on that. K-Duo. Let's talk about the K Supreme. This has a long history. When they first came out, K Supreme multi-brew technology, one of the first coffee makers to have this new style of heating element. It wraps around a coil, but they went from heating the water in a tank, letting this boil, then brewing your cup of coffee, which takes a little bit longer, maybe a couple minutes, to now you get a cup of coffee in under a minute. They have a water pump that shoots the water through this, heats it up as it's going through here, comes out in less than a minute, brews your cup of coffee. But what happens is the add water light doesn't work. you lift the tank off during a brew, or it runs dry, or just randomly, this thermostat will trip. Your Keurig goes completely dead. You have to open it. Thankfully, you can open it up. It's kind of hard. I have videos on how to open up all of these Keurigs, and you can reset this with a paper clip. That's probably, hindsight, I don't know which one's which. It seems the Keurig Supreme probably might be the number one. But I think they sell a ton of these Keurig Supreme coffee makers. I don't see it so much on the newer ones. And the reason, especially on the Keurig Supreme Plus Smart Coffee Maker with the little display, they did a software update. This thing will talk to the internet, and you can do an update to the software. And the update, during the descaling procedure, it runs cold water through the machine now. Whereas on these older ones, it does it hot. And during the descaling procedure, this can trip this thermostat also. So, and I think that's what causes a lot of, these would be perfectly good coffee makers if it wasn't for this descale light. This descale light on these Keurig Supremes and these Keurig Expresses, these newer coffee makers, they come on after 250 brews no matter what. Older coffee makers, as long as you kept up on the descale on a timely basis, the light usually would stay out and you could get it to go out. These new ones, 250 brews no matter what. But here's the kicker. You have to put it into a special descale mode in order to get that light to go out. That's where a lot of the problems come into play. You end up maybe running the descale mode twice, not getting into the descale mode. You're just running this thing a lot, and eventually this will eventually trip. And that has a lot to do with, like I said before, the add water light not working. I have whole videos if your add water light's not working. You've got to get it working before you can do the descale light or the descaling procedure. So the Keurig Supremes, these are really good coffee makers. And again, I think they sell a lot of these and these, but they do seem to have the most problems. Okay, the Keurig Expresses. These Keurig Expresses, like this is a Keurig Iced. It's in the body of a Keurig Express. Here we have the Keurig Cafe Essentials from Walmart. You can tell it's kind of a Keurig Cafe. We've got the Keurig Cafe Barista Bar. It looks like a Keurig Express. They all have this type of heating element in it. I'm starting to see the problems with the heating element tripping the thermostat. Same with this is the Keurig Express Essentials from Walmart. It's got the same type of heating element in here as all of these. So basically, if you're having this heating element, you may have this problem. So not that these are not unreliable. I've only had the thermostat trip on two coffee makers. And that's after they sat a while and I didn't prime the pump. So I have a video on how to prime the pump, fill the water tank up with water, press it up and down on the machine. If your machine is sat for a while, that forces water through the machine, puts water into this so that you won't blow that thermostat. Okay, next is the Keurig Minis. Now, thankfully with the Keurig Mini, I do see a lot. This is probably the one, other than the Keurig Supreme, that can be fixed the quickest. It's usually a clogged needle. I'm not sure why this one, the needle clogs the worst. But on the Keurig Mini, it typically, you put your water in, it sucks the water down in, you press the button, sucks the water down in, nothing comes out. It's a clogged needle. So I got a video on that, simply just running a paper clip in there. You gotta be very careful, but take the K-cup out, run the paper clip in there a little bit. That coffee grounds will actually get in there and clog that needle. I never thought that would happen, but it happens a lot from the reactions I get on that video of how to clean the needles. So, and this one can be fixed relatively quick, but I do see that a lot. The next one on the Keurig Mini, if it starts to leak water, 9 out of 10 times, you're not gonna be able to fix it. It has a water tank inside, and there's a probe that goes into the water tank, and that probe has a seal. That seal goes bad, it starts to leak water. You just start seeing water come out the bottom. I have opened them up thinking I could fix it. There are some tubes. You may have had a tube come off. Those are simple fixes. If a tube comes off in a Keurig, you can reattach it, maybe put a little zip tie around it. Those are easy fixes. I don't necessarily see that a lot. On this one, if it gets a water leak, it's not repairable. Keurig Minis. The Keurig Slim is really, the original model of the Keurig Slim had a single needle on top. The heating element was U-shaped on the inside. It would just go bad. There's no reset on it. The new Keurig Slim has multi-brew technology, and it has this type of heating element. And again, back to the thermostat needing reset. The K Cafes. Here we have the K Cafe. We got the K Cafe Smart. So these have milk frothers. Now, I'll talk about this one in a minute. The newer ones have this milk frother that you cannot get water down here underneath it. You have to clean the milk out here. So you may inevitably get some water down in here, and that can cause the milk frother to go bad. Now, unfortunately on these, the K Cafe Smart, you know, the coffee maker, the milk frother is built into the coffee maker. So that could cause problems with the coffee maker, but in order to fix it, you got to send the whole coffee maker in. Keurig, I understand now why they did this. This is the brand new, this is the Keurig K Cafe Barista Bar. And look what, it has a milk frother, but it's standalone. It's not attached to the coffee maker whatsoever. You still have to pay attention and not get water down here, but if you do, the replacement is just a new milk frother, not a whole new coffee maker. I get that now. This was very smart. This is actually a very good coffee maker. It's probably going to be my Keurig pick of the year because it does iced coffee, cappuccinos, and lattes very, very well. So this is the original K Cafe. Very good coffee maker. I've not had a bit of problems with it, but it does have a milk frother. I opened one of these up. I don't have it here with me. There's a lot of electronics in this one, especially underneath that milk frother. To make that milk frother run, it's got a magnet that spins this. You know, you can put this thing in the dishwasher all day long, but for some reason, there's a lot going on inside these. I've not seen too many problems on the K-Cup side. It mainly has to do with my milk frother has stopped frothing milk. It doesn't spin anymore, doesn't do anything. And I bought one off of eBay that was broke, thinking I was going to fix it. It was very hard to take apart, and it's basically just a bunch of electronics underneath that, circuit cards, circuit boards. I mean, you could probably fix it, but I wasn't able to fix it. Now let's get into, so I've worked my way, you know, these are very reliable. The K Cafes are very reliable coffee makers. These older ones, here's the K Classic. I recommend these to people when they ask me what's the most reliable Keurig coffee maker. The K Classic. The K Elite probably right above it. It's got a kind of a complicated menu. Sometimes I hear things about the menu not working. The K Select, I'm starting to see this one not available as much. I've not had many problems with the K Select. K Compact, this one is probably in the same running. The K Compact was only sold at Walmart. This is kind of an older coffee maker. I thought it was going away. It's, you know, last year you could hardly find it. The K Expresses were replacing it. You know, this was like the future. This was old. The buttons they don't have ounces on them. Yeah, there's not even a D-scale light. But this thing has made a resurgence this year. It's actually come out in some pretty cool colors. It just works. Again, I've taken one apart. It's got the simple tank inside, so you'll hear the water boiling in there. You know, it takes maybe, it could take maybe a minute longer than these newer ones because it has to heat the water up first. You know, the water tank's kind of awkward. You know, these can break very easy. This one's probably the most reliable. These things just work. And I know that because I've replaced a few of my friends. My mom had one of these. I know she never descaled it. And she had it probably for 2 or 3 years, and it just worked. It never stopped working. And she had really, really hard water. So the K Compact might be my most reliable. That and the K Classic. I actually thought they were going to do away with these older ones because they've got so many of these newer models. They sell a lot of these on Amazon. They discount these heavily on Amazon, even on the Keurig website. The K Elite and this K Classic. I don't know anything about Keurig, what their plans are or anything, but I just thought, well, it looks older. Water tank's kind of awkward, you know. They've really redesigned these water tanks. These are nice, fancy screens. They got the ice buttons now. I thought this would go away. This is probably this one and the K Compact, the most reliable Keurigs I make. They just work. It does have a D-scale light. From the comments in my videos, I have a D-scale video on this. You don't put it into a descale mode. You just once in a while have to run vinegar or water through it or the descaling solution. But I don't hear many comments. Once in a while I hear somebody, the K-cup explodes, and cleaning these are kind of hard because you've got this mechanism. I found you just get a big thing of water and just run water through it. But these are not, you cannot work on these like you can these. These come apart relatively easy. I got videos on that. But the K Classic and the K Compact, probably the most reliable. I see the fewest comments, and they still sell a bunch of these coffee makers. And I guess that's good because maybe there are a lot of problems with these old ones, but I know they sell a bunch of these old ones. The last thing I saw, possibly, I think I saw Keurig sells 3 million Keurigs a year. I don't know. I think I read that in the news somewhere. If you know, leave it in the comments down below. So there I've ranked them, you know, the top 2, I think they just sell a bunch of them. I don't know. I would probably stay away from this one. These, at least I can fix if the thermostat opens up, you know. This one, I've not fixed it. Several people have commented they weren't able to fix it, and I've never been able to fix one, so I've taken one apart, and it's very, very hard to take apart. Stay away, but there again, if it's on sale for $80, you know, some of these are $300. You know, this one, the K Duo Plus, is sometimes over $200. You know, so you could buy 2 of these for what you get this. So there you have that. Again, the purpose of my videos is try to help. I have a lot of videos on Keurig coffee makers trying to help people, and I read the comments and I kind of tile them up in my head. I'll make notes. I'll be like, hey, I need to make a video on this. Some of my best videos have been from comments viewers have left. They're like, I really need help with this on this coffee maker. I'm like, okay, let me dive into it. Yeah, that's actually it's a problem, and I'm going to do a video on it. So I really appreciate everybody's support. YouTube recently just sent me my 100,000 subscriber plaque. Thank you, everybody. That's been so exciting. I feel like we're all on this journey together. I love doing coffee makers. I do give my coffee makers away now. Obviously, I've kept my Keurig coffee makers because I like to do demonstrations, compare them when the new one comes out. Here's the old one. How's it different? But I do give a lot of products away on my Just a Dad Videos Facebook group page. On there, you'll also see I'm branding my own coffee, Just a Dad Simple Sip Coffee. It's going to be in the bag form, and it's going to be in the K-cup. These are just my stickers placed on the coffee that they had down there. It is my coffee in there, but they didn't have my labels yet. So it's going to be in the K-cup form. It's a Brazilian dark roast. It's going to be on my Shopify account. As soon as it's available, we'll be turning that Shopify account on. So really appreciate everybody's support. I think you're going to like the taste of the coffee. We started with, hey, I like Dunkin' Donuts. And we kind of built on that, and it's going to be ground fresh, and it actually tastes really good. So very, very excited about that. In fact, tomorrow we're going down to St. Louis. It's being brewed in being roasted in St. Louis. We're finalizing everything. So I'll be updating you on that Facebook group page of how things are going, and on the YouTube page. So again, really, really appreciate everybody's support. Thank you so much. And I also have a podcast that I do in this very kitchen. This is my studio kitchen. I like to interview people. I've always kind of liked to talk to people and kind of get their story from them. And so I've turned that into a podcast. I want to show my appreciation for different professions. You know, they don't even necessarily have to be working, but people have a story. And I love to hear people's story. And I want to share that with you. So again, if you could hit the like button underneath the video, that really helps out my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody's support.